So I took a course at the Singer had a sewing course at the Village Plaza, and I did two, the first and the second course. And I went to the flea market. I used to make these trousers. They had these little short pants. It's like a crop pants. And I would sew, and then every Sunday I would go to the flea market and try to do a thing. And I used to go to some of the shops like the Trams, and I would get all the stuff that Mr. Shirley couldn't sell at the time, and then I would match that with my collection. And I went to Carmen's Corner, which is Carmen Brown, and I used to take the ends of the cloth, and then I would put that also with my stuff that I made up on a Sunday. And then during the week, I would just fold this big bag of cloth with a scale, and I would go around to all the hotels and sell. And I still wasn't satisfied because I know that I had something inside of me that wanted to burst. Yeah. And one day, this voice said to me again, Bridget, why don't you make ladies' leather sandals? That time they had Itelcraft, and Itelcraft was booming, and I used to go inside Itelcraft looking at all their stuff and knowing that I could do this, I could make something like this.
But to create women's sandals on a commercial scale, Bridget needed staff. She ran an ad in the Gleaner and got most of her staff except a pattern maker. But fate was to provide her with one from an unexpected quarter. One day, an elderly, nervous-looking man visited her and applied for the job.
I said, boy, I don't really want any old man like that because they're very set in their ways. And, so what am I going to tell this man? So I said, Daddy, you know that all the position that I had applied for is filled. And then he walked away, and he said, while he was walking away, he said, but I can make pattern. So I said, what? You can make pattern? And he said, yes, because that Sketcher style, that was very complicated, that I couldn't do. But I wanted to do that because I was a very creative person. So I brought him inside, and then that was a little turning for me in the business. Okay. So he worked for me for 2 years, and he died. May God bless his soul. And when he left, I was making all these custom-made shoes for people because he was very good, but he didn't show me anything, and I didn't expect him to. And when he died, I went inside myself, and I said, Father, what am I going to do now? Because I made all of these shoes for all these people, and now Mr. Bella's gone. So what am when people come for custom-made, and and one Sunday evening, I sit at the corner right there at about 4 o'clock, and I took out a style which is called brogue. You know the brogue style? Yeah. It's from in the 40s. It has different cuts. And I showed it to my children's father. And I said, John, you know that I'm going to design this style tonight? If it take me till tomorrow this time, I'm going to make it. And I sat there, and I spoke with the Spirit. And while I'm doing everything I'm doing, I was communicating. And eventually I accomplished the task. And then I felt good. So I kept that style on the stand for like 10 years before I gave it to anybody, because that was a very difficult style to make.
Bridget has a strong innate sense of business, and it didn't take her long to realize that 7 multi-skilled workers could more efficiently do the job of 16 traditional workers.
When you make things by hand, it's not good to have 20, 30 people. It becomes very, very complex and very difficult. So I started to re-engineer from about 1990. And I realized that having 7 or 8 people is doing the same job or more what 16 people was doing then.
Yeah, so you got more multi-skilled people.
Yeah, but yes, more multi-skill, I would say, yes.
Fascinating transition from a Playboy bunny to a businesswoman, and not only that, but the change in faith. How do you reconcile that change in your faith?
I guess, I'm always searching, because I don't just stop just there, I move on, and I'm now into metaphysics. And, life evolves, and, I'm also evolving.
Bridget designs formal and informal custom sandals for a veritable who's who among women locally and overseas.
When I started, I first did one of those Christmas craft show at Devon House, and I met some, I would say, influential persons. And then one person came, and then they brought somebody else, and then that person was impressed, and then they brought somebody else, and then, it's a chain, and then somebody else brought somebody else, because I wasn't advertising.
Bridget's work has attracted top magazines such as Elle, and her sandals are exported to countries such as the United States, the United Kingdom, Dominica, Trinidad and Tobago, and Barbados. Now, all of this was achieved through dogged determination and a will to beat the odds. For example, at one early point in the business nearly 20 years ago, Bridget almost went bust and had difficulty repaying a business loan of 2,000 Jamaican dollars.
And I had to face reality, and then I started selling my stuff, go about making sandals for this person and that person. And so I did pay back my loan. It was like $135 per month. So I got like 15, 16 months. So every month I made some money. I went and I paid my $135. And then I just started over. I created some extra money and I saved. And then I just took all that money that I had earned and saved and then put it in the business. It was maybe $5,000.
Putting back money into the business, a tenet of most successful business people. Bridget Brown, a true achiever.